This hearing starts with something most parents never recover from in family court, everyone already agreeing the situation is unstable before testimony even begins. The attorneys are not fighting facts here. They are negotiating damage control. That changes the entire energy of the courtroom immediately.
Okay, you understand Ms. Grant can't agree to the adversary hearing on behalf of Mr. Lockett due to her limited ability to communicate with him. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so very briefly, what was the reason for the intake regarding Kariah Lockett?
So there were concerns that mother left the children in care of Zena or Miss Cervantes, and that mother's homeless and is also using methamphetamines.
Okay, and the other child involved is Jaslyn Gardia. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And during your interview with Miss Cervantes, she admitted to using methamphetamine as recently as January of 2026. Is that correct?
That's correct.
As well, her live-in husband is a sex offender and his victims were children. Is that correct as well?
That's correct.
And based on that, did we request Ms. Gardia to try to find a safer environment for the children?
We did.
And while she was able to stay with a paternal relative over the weekend and be supervised, that situation was not able to be continued due to the relative's decision. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And Ms. Gardia had no other place or person to supervise the children or watch the children even without her there. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And because of that, did it rule out the possibility of Ms. Gardia working services without removing the children?
Yes.
And specifically, did it rule out the possibility of working a family-based safety services case?
Yes.
Or a Texas Families First case?
Yes.
Okay. And was there no other way to ensure the safety of the children?
That's correct.
And did you believe the children to be in immediate danger of due to that methamphetamine use?
Yes.
As well was Ms. Gardia, unfortunately and tragically, residing out of her car?
Yes.
And were there also 2 dogs there?
Yes.
And were they also residing in the car?
The dogs, yes.
Okay, thank you. And was that environment as well not healthy and safe for the children?
That's correct.
Now, to her credit, Ms. Gardia has admitted that she has a problem and she is wanting to fix this for her children. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, as far as the removal, where is Mr. Lockett currently?
He is at TDCJ Roach Unit.
Okay, let me see here. And Your Honor, I've got some exhibits I'd like to offer in Mr. Lockett's case.
Okay.
And I offer petitioner's exhibit 1 through 8, if there's no objection to them being offered in a group.
All right. Any objections to that, or any objections to any of them? I have the list of them.
No objection.
No objection.
All right. In the Lockett case, petitioners exhibits 1 through 8 are admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor. And Zoe, as far as Kariah, her father is incarcerated currently. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And does that rule him out as an alternative to removal?
Yes, ma'am.
And does it also rule him out as possible placement for the child?
Yes, ma'am.
And Jaslyn's father has been deported to Mexico. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. As well, it looks like there's a family violence charge against him from 2025 with Ms. Gardia as the victim. Is that correct as well?
That is correct.
And with Mr. Gardia not being in the country, does it prevent him from being a reasonable alternative to removal at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
And did it prevent him from being does it prevent him from being placement today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Has the department had any chance to assess Mr. Gardia's living environment to see if it would be appropriate for Kariah?
No, ma'am.
Are we asking for any home study today, or are we wanting to get through the status hearing and have services ordered before we assess Mr. Gardia's home for Kariah? I apologize for Jaslyn.
I would assess first, start services, and then go from there.
Okay, thank you. Let's see, can you tell us what the reasonable efforts to avoid removal were for both children?
Yes, ma'am. We tried to locate possible kinship placements or family options, that weren't available. We've kept in contact with all parties. We did schedule a family team meeting as well that Rachel did participate in. We requested, no, I'm sorry, scratch that. And I think that's a lot of it.
And doing that substance abuse referral, is that a part of it as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And has Ms. Gardia had any visitation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And has Mr. Gardia had any visitation?
Not to my knowledge.
All right, I pass the witness.
All right, thank you. Mr. Nowak?
Very, very briefly. Hey, Zoe. So Rachel has had visits with the kids?
Yes.
Have those visits gone well?
Yes,
Okay. And you're the investigator for the department, correct?
that's correct.
And so when I want to talk about getting OSAR scheduled as quick as possible, I talk to Cassie, correct?
I believe so. Yes, sir.
Zoe, thank you so much. Judge, I think that's all I have. I pass the witness. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Ms. Naranjo?
Ms. Stanley, did both children test positive for methamphetamines in a recent drug screen?
Yes, ma'am.
And due to that, are you concerned about Ms. Gardia having in-person contact with the children at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
And would you ask that she only have virtual visitation until she provides a clean UA drug screen?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll pass the witness.
All right. Anyone else?
The testimony about reasonable efforts sounds weak at first glance, but that actually reveals how overloaded these systems are. The investigator struggles to organize the department's interventions cleanly because most removals happen in chaotic real time, not in polished legal order.
Just briefly, Judge.
Okay. I'm sorry, Ms. Grant, I missed you.
That's okay. Zoe, is there any, would you like to be in attendance from my office or on the phone when I speak with Mr. Lockett this week?
Yes, ma'am.
And is there any vital piece of information you need to know moving forward immediately other than Native American status that you're still missing in order to initiate the case?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so I will send you an email as to when that phone call is scheduled for so that you can plan either to get on by phone or come by the office, whichever is most convenient. Would that be acceptable?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Pass the witness, Judge.
All right. Anyone else?
No, Your Honor, but I next call Cassie Kapik as a witness.
Okay. Ms. Kopic, if you would raise your right hand. You swear the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Gutierrez.
Thank you, Your Honor. Cassie, has visitation been set up for Mr. Gardia?
We've had one visit, but we'll have them weekly.
Okay. And those will be virtual, correct?
Yes.
And is it 1 hour per week or 30 minutes per week?
We did 40 because I only have the free version of Zoom. So.
Okay. And in regards to, let's see here, mom's visitation, what will mom's visitation be going forward?
We'll do 1 hour a week. When she provides the negative UA, we'll do them in person, but she'll have to give me her schedule because I believe she started a new job.
Okay. And have you already gotten with mom to schedule a pre-assessment for her to create her family plan?
I did meet with her on Friday and we talked about what kind of services we were going to expect of her.
All right, I pass the witness.
All right. Mr. Nowak.
Thank you so much, Judge. Cassie, please work with me. Let's get this OSAR as quick as we possibly can. Mom is motivated to do everything possible. You work with me?
Yes, of course.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Cassie. Judge, and it's always good to see you. Judge, I pass the witness.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Grant.
No questions for Cassie, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Naranjo.
Ms. Kopic, will you be the St. Francis worker for the remainder of the case?
Yes.
And would you be able to set up a speech therapy for both children?
Yes.
I'll pass the witness.
All right. Cassie, you'll be the only one that can be the permanency specialist throughout the entire case. You'll be the first one I ever had.
Well, guess we'll
All
see, right?
Okay. All right. Anything else from anyone today?
Judge, if I might call Rachel Gardia real quick.
Okay. Ms. Gardia, if you'd raise your right hand. Do you swear the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Nowak.
Judge, thank you so much. Rachel, you've heard everything that's happened, right? You've heard
Yes.
everything. Yeah. And I know
Yeah.
you're, Rachel, I know you're sad, but we've talked a couple, listen to me. We've talked a couple times, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, we're going to get you an OSAR set up as quick as we can. You understand that, right? And we're going to get you services that no one in the world can afford other than folks in this court. Everyone here is to help you. You understand that, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, when I first got the case, it said you were living in your car, but you're now in a hotel, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you work at McDonald's, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you might get your job back at Slotsky's as a supervisor, correct?
I did as of today, yeah.
Well, congratulations. That's wonderful. We're going to do the OSAR. We're going to participate in every service offered, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You're probably going to be ordered to drug screen today. Drug screen as the court orders it, and whatever it turns out, we'll work with that. You understand that, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Listen, everyone here wants you to win. It's up to you. You get that, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. My phone number you have, I'm your first phone call. Judge, I pass the witness.
All right. Anyone else have questions for Ms. Gardia?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, then. If nothing else, then Ms. Naranjo, recommendations?
Your Honor, I do recommend that it's in the children's best interest that the department be named temporary managing conservator, that the placement be continued, that parents be ordered to work services, and that Ms. Gardia did not have any in-person visitation with the children until she provides a negative UA drug screen.
All right. Thank you. Now, I heard Mr. Nowak mention drug testing. Do we need drug testing on anybody today?
I think Ms. Gardia did comply with our request to drug screen. Ms. Stanley, do we need any other screens ordered today?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right, then.
This is where the judge finally reveals the true philosophy driving the courtroom. He is not pretending sobriety is just one requirement among many. He openly states it is the foundation everything else depends on. That warning is more important than the removal order itself.
Then, in both cases, then, I will approve the agreement. I will continue the department as temporary managing conservator, continue both Kariah and Jasmine's current placements. I'll order Ms. Gardia to complete her OSAR assessment as quickly as possible and follow all recommendations. And I will order that Ms. Gardia's visitation be virtual until she provides a negative UA drug screen, at which time we can switch to in-person visits. Ms. Gardia, I've read the reports. I read in the report that you wanted to do inpatient treatment. Is that true?
At the beginning, yes. But now that if I do inpatient, would I still be able to work?
Probably not. I don't know. Somebody else might know the answer to that.
Judge, I don't know if this is your last hearing or not, but when we finish, I was going to ask for a breakout room with Rachel. And the court knows me well enough to know that I am always in favor in these types of cases for inpatient.
Yeah.
Followed up by sober living. And I've got a good relationship with DWC. And my plan is to get Rachel into inpatient and then follow that up with a home at DWC. And I'd like to talk to her, and we talked prior to this, Judge, and I'm not disclosing privilege, but I'd like to talk to her afterwards because I think she's having a difficult day.
Sure, I understand that. All right. Ms. Garcia, you'll have to do the OSAR if it recommends inpatient, then that will, I can tell you right now, that will be a court order. Any of these lawyers can tell you this court's primary concern with drug cases is to get you sober. Part of that is if the OSAR recommends inpatient, then that's what the court will expect you to do. If we don't get the drugs condition under control, then you can work every other service and you won't get your children back. This court requires that you prove to the court that you're clean and sober before I return children to the parents. So I'm not threatening you. I'm just letting you know right up front. That's what's going to go down the pike. So. if the OSARD recommends outpatient, then that's between you and your lawyer to talk about it. So I understand you wanting to work, and I admire you for that. So, but the drug issue becomes precedent over anything else. So,
Yes, sir.
okay. All right. Then in both cases, we'll have the status hearing, our next hearing on June 8th, 2026. It will be by Zoom, just like today's hearing. So all the parties can ask their lawyers, or you can ask St. Francis or the department, or go on the court's online docket a day or two before June 8th to see what time that hearing will take place. And you won't be sitting in the waiting room half the day. So Mr. Gardia, once I get that paperwork, I'll look at it to see if you are entitled to a lawyer. Just so you'll know, since you don't have a lawyer today, the department's going to probably want you to work some services, whatever you can work where you're at. They'll give you a written plan of your services. This next hearing that I just announced for June 8th, that's where the court decides what services you have to work and what you might not have to work. So it's important that you attend that hearing with us.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. I appreciate y'all working that out on both cases. These were our last cases for the day, so we will be in recess. Everybody have a good week.
Judge, if you would leave the Zoom open for about 10 minutes. Let me talk to Rachel in the breakout room. And I sure do appreciate that, Judge.
You bet. I'll watch for you when you all drop off, then I'll close the Zoom link down.
Thank you. Rachel, watch for the prompt to come meet with me in a breakout room.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Judge. My apologies for not catching the time change. And
that's okay. That's all right. I knew it'd throw some people off.
Sorry about that. Well, have a good day, Judge.
You too. All right, I'll open that breakout room for y'all, and we'll see you later in the week.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
The ending feels procedural on the surface, but the final minutes quietly expose the emotional machinery behind dependency court. The judge starts transitioning everyone toward deadlines, service plans, and future hearings because courts survive through structure. Chaos gets converted into calendars. But the most revealing moment happens after the formal case essentially ends. The attorney immediately asks for a breakout room with Rachel instead of simply disconnecting. That matters. It signals he knows the emotional crash often comes after the hearing, not during it. Adrenaline disappears. Reality sets in. Children remain removed. Addiction treatment becomes unavoidable. Employment uncertainty grows. The lawyer is trying to prevent hopelessness from taking over before the next hearing even arrives. Meanwhile, the judge leaving Zoom open shows something viewers rarely notice. These courtrooms can feel mechanical during hearings, but outside the official rulings, the people involved often understand they are dealing with human collapse in real time.